I am so excited about my new community that's also a renewed community. It's called the Heroines Knot, and it's a community for creative creatures on the quest for self discovery. It's where we untangle our knots and connect to the greater web and weave new stories together. It's part writing community, part creative incubator, part training ground for heroines who are seeking practical and magical solutions for those collective and individual dilemmas that mark our experience in the modern world. If you're someone looking for more depth, more soul, more wild, this could be the place for you. Because in the Heroine's Knot, we call on mythology and archetypal wisdom and our connection to the more than human world to help us on our quest to connect to something ancient and make something new and somehow move further along our own journey, our own evolutionary journey. So I decided to pull some cards to find out just who it is that I'm here to serve, who it is that I'm speaking to. I first went to the Wild Unknown Archetypes deck, which you may know, it's by Kim Kranz. And from it, I pulled the pilgrim, the riddle, and the animal. The pilgrim, of course, is you, the heroine, those folks that I'm here to help and serve and journey with. Of course, that's me too. The riddle, to me, that's the mystery, right? That is the great unknown. If you know me and my work, you know how much of what I do is connected to that knot, the sovereignty knot, the heroine's knot, right there in the middle. In this deck, it's this idea that the riddle is something that can only be solved when you stop trying to solve it. And to me, that's our entire relationship with the mystery and the unknown. Can we let ourselves be in it? And that's when we can see right through it and into it and beyond it and become it. And finally, the animal. What is it that people desire? What am I pilgrim heroines seeking? To me, it's that call of the wild, the call of something more than our over-domesticated selves and our overly domesticated spaces. So with those three as a basis, I then went and sought the help of the Light Seers Tarot by Chris Ann. I love the diversity and the richness of this traditional tarot deck, which really has been a wonderful tool of mine for a couple of years now. So what did I learn about you, about me, about the pilgrim heroine, the lovers? I don't necessarily believe this is going to be a group just for people in committed relationships. I know that the lovers has that sense of being perhaps someone who is a romantic in some way, someone who does take devotion and partnership very seriously, but it's also about being a lover of the world. It's that understanding that being in relationship is so incredibly important to moving forward. Then over here, we have the Six of Swords. Now, this is a card about going on a journey in so many ways, right? But when it's reversed, what does that say to us? To me, I'm seeing the ways in which there is a difficulty in accepting the transition, the journey that's ahead. And sometimes it can be hard to ask for help, which of course is an interesting balance from someone who also may identify with the lovers. It's that sense that, which I love to realize, the people I'm here to call in, the heroines who want to be here, both know that there's power in banding together with others, and admit that sometimes it's a little bit difficult. That's certainly deeply human, and I understand that completely. So then let's look up here with this sense of what folks need to solve that riddle and be in the mystery. There's card 21 of the Major Arcana, the world. This is that sense of having everything at your fingertips, really understanding as the evolved soul, but it's reversed. What is it like to know that so much is possible, but not to be able to fully grasp it? It's like that sense of we know we have almost all the knowledge in the world at Google, right? All we need to do is pick up our phones. But that's somehow not enough. That's not the completeness of what that we're looking for. The other side is the moon. That's also reversed. The moon can speak of illusion. The moon can speak of really being part of that mystery. But what happens when you can't access it? It's that inability to trust your own intuition, to know what is yours to know, what is yours to follow, what is being illuminated, whether or not it's the truth of the situation or just further deception. Part of what we would do, part of what we will do in the Heroine's Knot is acknowledge the nature of the knot and acknowledge that there is both dark and light. And of course, the moon reminds us of the deep feminine wisdom, that sense of calling in to the depths of the watery soul, the truth of the emotions, and what happens when you start letting yourself rely on them and count on them. Two last cards. Here we have the Page of Swords. This is that card of such innovation and possibility. It's all those bright ideas she carries right there in her balloons made of light bulbs. But if those energies aren't directed, it can be a huge source of frustration, especially if our heroines, our pilgrims, are magicians, which of course you are. That ability to pull something from the unseen into the seen, to make things manifest, to call on all the powers and elements of nature, to draw something into creation. It can be a little challenging to be both the master magician and that young page who doesn't even know how to always access all the possibilities. But what if, in the Heroine's Knot, we could sit down with these cards, with other cards, and find our way into wisdom, into the heart of the mystery where the known and the unknown can blend together, where we can go out into the wilds and all that is beyond the edge of our domesticated souls and look for what's real, to look for what endures beyond all of our commercialized, capitalized, like-driven, how it is to be seen and glitter on the outside, and dive deeper into what's true. In this group, we'll be writing to find our way through, but it's more than just a writing group. It's a creative cauldron. It's a space to really explore what it is you think and feel. It's a space to recognize that you are so far from alone in this Heroine's Knot. We talk a lot about the importance of journeys in our culture. We talk about what happens when you step outside the threshold and go out into the great unknown. Well, guess what? So much of life happens on the inside the house before you ever set out on the great big journey, and certainly inside the head, the heart, and the entire body. Inside the boundaries of the land that is yours to tend, inside the boundaries of the town or city in which you live. In the Heroine's Knot, we find a way to the greater, the something more. Not necessarily by planning that next trip across the ocean, but certainly if that's in the cards, we'll cheer you on. But to say that the magic is found in the everyday. The magic is found in the next creative act, in the next moment of stillness, and the next connection that you make at the heart-soul level. This is a group for folk who are looking to dive deep into their own spirit and into some collective vision of the spirit. It's also a group for folks who really want to ground in to who they are and what they're meant to do in this life, what they're meant to make, create, and who they're meant to serve and support and help. Because we look to our own sovereignty, our own individual agency, our own personal blend of magic in order to be part of the changes we wish to see in the world, in order to engage at whatever level is most necessary for our beautiful burning world that needs our creativity, our innovation, our engagement, our passion, our tears, our laughter, our hope, that needs the pilgrim souls in us to go and step into the Heroine's Knot without fear of darkness, without fear of the snares, to work out the tangles and create a new design. One story at a time, one connection at a time, one new vision made real at a time. I hope to see you in the Heroine's Knot. I'll meet you there in the spaces where the pilgrims meet the mystery as we step into the wild.